The time has finally come, guys. Console has a new HUD update in 10.3, and it's pretty crazy. It's probably the biggest change console has ever seen, and right now I'm giving you a preview of what that HUD looks like. I do want to do a quick pivot to the old HUD just to compare the differences. All right, now for the old HUD comparison. Basically, everything is on the sides of the screen. You have the abilities in the lower right, all the way on that side. Then you have your relics and consumables all the way on the left. And you also have on the left your items, and they go down vertically. So console HUD was extremely different from PC HUD. And of course, what was very different was the old console store, which we've grown to love all these years. And basically, you had these panels on the left and right. This left panel, you would tab over to different tabs. Your power, attack speed, lifesteal, penetration is all laid out like this way, and you can go through the different power items and filter this way. And you can go to defensive, essential, then you could kind of have your like custom builds, and then of course glyphs. So really, console players were just used to tabbing this way and then finding the related tree in this panel. And then when you wanted to select whatever item tree you'd want, you'd have to press A, and then you'd be able to go into this tree right here and pick your item. So you're kind of shifting your eyes, you know, just from left to right all the time to buy different items. And we will fill this up. Let's just do this for the demo. All right, and then you have, of course, had your relics, which you could easily get to just by hovering over these, and your shard, and then you could get your upgrade there. And consumables, you'd have to go in essential and find them in here. And one of the last things to show off was if you hit start, you could see the statistics. This is kind of a little bit of a hidden feature, but you could see all of your power, your cooldown, your mana, and everything in this little stat tree. As for console HUD was basically you could just move the map, and that is about it. You can also set the opacity if you wanted it more opaque or less opaque, and then you could scale it up and scale it down. The only thing you really have access to edit in the old editor is the mini map, and absolutely nothing else. All right, now that we compared the old HUD, it is time to go over everything that has changed, and it is quite a lot. Basically, the HUD is synchronized and the exact same as the PC HUD, so no longer are we having relics, consumables, and abilities on completely opposite sides of the screen, and our items are all connected in the bottom row there, horizontally in the 6 squares instead of the vertical way that we've been used to for so many years. Both of the teams are still up at the top. They're just a little bit more centralized around the scoreboard. And of course we have mini map and everything else like that. But the biggest change for console players is the item store. And here it is in all of its glory. It is a centralized item store, so no longer having to look on the left and the right for things. And basically the whole way you are buying items has changed. So it is going to take a lot of like kind of retraining your muscle memory to get used to this store. But I can tell you, after working on it, working on this HUD, being in a bunch of playtests, I have definitely gotten used to it. And for those of you that don't know, I work at Hi-Res. I'm a QA analyst, and I work pretty closely with the game teams, UI, UX, and I worked super hard with them to make this feel really good for console players. And for those that know me, know that I am an original Xbox player back from season 3, and I still play with a controller to this day. So it's definitely very important to me, and I worked super hard on this and to try and make it feel as best that we can. And then I know in future updates we're also going to be doing further quality of life improvements, so feel free to send us feedback because we are definitely looking for it. All right, so first we have the recommended tab. This will be just all recommended items with your starter item, like the first thing you build, your shard and your amulet, and then you have the consumables, and then, you know, just core things that'll be good and recommended on your god. So those will all be in there. And if you had a custom build setup, it would be over in this left side panel, and you would hit that with the corresponding button that shows there. And I believe it shows up as like custom would be the name of it, and then you could filter it that way. And that is another big thing about this store, is filtering is obviously super important, so got to get used to that. And you use LB and RB to go in between recommended, all items, and stats. So this is just a quick view of all items, and then here is stats. This is just where you see all of your power, your cooldown, your health, protections, everything that you need to know will be in here. Main majority of us will of course be in this all items tab, and it is super different. You'll see popular items are here, and everything you need to know is on this left side panel. This is going to be how you go and find the items that you want. These are all in the correct filters. You got your consumables, your relics, starter items, glyphs, shards, and then you got your offensive, defensive, utility, your power, attack, speed, life steal, pen, crit, all that good stuff. And then a new cool addition that has been added is healing bolstering and healing reduction. We finally have an anti-heal tab. Super exciting. And then of course there are the new items that are in this patch that will be in bolstering. But yeah, super cool. I know it's been requested by the community for a super long time, so that's awesome. But yeah, mainly you want to just be filtering here. It's really quick and easy to kind of get used to, but just if you wanted anything in power, you can find it in here. All right, now I'll start buying some items to kind of show this off. So I typically, you know, always start with like a starter item, and then you're going into the first item that you wanted to build. So like you'd have enough for this, but generally you just kind of go like this and filter in to what you want and just go into the trees like here. So it's just like a better kind of more centralized shop, and you know, you can keep filtering items this way, give some life steal, and look for some crit. And I think once you really get the hang of it, you totally get used to it. What I do like to do also is, if I ever have like a tier 2 or tier 1 item, I usually go directly in my inventory and click on that to go directly to the tree. So that's been another good thing, is if you hit this corresponding start button, you can easily get to where you need to go. So just hit the start and you can navigate through your build, and then you can go to your relics. You could also do relics through here if you want to do it that way, and get your other relic, and then going consumables. It probably is a little bit faster if you do consumables like this, but I've always been in the habit of just going in my inventory and picking out consumables that way. So yeah, that is pretty much the general overview of how you buy and filter for for items in the new HUD. I am very curious to know your guys' thoughts. It's definitely going to be a big shock. I remember the first time I had this, you know, it took me a while to even buy anything and figure out where I was going, but once you get the hang of it, it can be really cool and really great. I'm just glad that console finally has its own, you know, updated UI that's similar to PC, so we can all be on the same thing. Another huge update is console HUD Editor, and like I shown before, console could only move the minimap, and that was it. You could only manipulate the minimap to be bigger, the opacity, and just move it. Now you basically have PC HUD Editor, but on console, which and I'm so excited because I remember back when I was in my Olympian days, this was something that was been requested since, you know, 2019, and it's finally here and I got to work on it, which is so cool. So basically you have this global scale and global opacity. This would change everything to be different opacity or bigger, but you just hit A to start editing, and you can literally edit all of these things. So let's say you didn't want your item display where it is now and you liked it like further up where it was before. You could literally just move it all the way up here, and you can move your stats to be up there, kind of like the old HUD as well, in case anyone doesn't like where it is. So that's the beauty about the HUD editor, is you can literally just change it to what you prefer. And I'm very happy that console finally has the ability to do that. So, you know, we can move this gold display to be like all the way up here if you wanted it to. And basically everything is editable. So even like your player frame, you can move this like wherever you want. So, you know, put this up here, and your KDA, you know, this is gonna be like so bad, but it's just like to display the HUD editor and what you can do. And you can do your skills display. So if you didn't like them in the middle and you wanted them where they were in the old HUD, if you're just used to them over here, you could go here. So like what's really cool is you can even just make this, like if you preferred the old HUD, you can just actually, you know, move things to where the old HUD was, you know, because the relics are over here and the consumables were also over here. And another cool thing is you can move your health bar to be like further up if you wanted it to, and your resource bar, and then you got your buff bar and your debuff bar. You can move that wherever. So like move it up here if you wanted it to, and do that to the buff bar. You can even edit the chat window where you're seeing VGS. And then you got your notifications, your kill messages, accolades, surrender, team kills and deaths. That's like a new feed. Let's see, team display. Team display, you can move this wherever you want it to if you don't want it like further off. Same with enemy display. So yeah, everything is basically editable and super awesome. And then you can of course change scale, opacity, and everything. There is probably, we do have some other stuff tracked as well. It couldn't release in like a 100% polished with every single thing because there's so many elements that are working here, but generally everything is really, everything that players care about should be working. And of course the mini map, you can put that wherever you want, and you can still do like the opacity to wherever you want it. And yeah, that is basically it. And then you would apply your changes, and then that is your new HUD. Also wanted to mention the new scoreboard. Basically, console can now navigate to player stats if they press start to navigate on the scoreboard. This is a awesome quality of life update, and you can also go over other players' items and hover over them to view their different items if you aren't sure, you know, what they do or anything like that. Like if you needed any more information, it'll be there. And then there's also a new option on the scoreboard to view how many gold furies and fire giants a team has got. There is a new death recap screen that you're able to hover over to see just all of the types of different damage sources that you died from, which is super cool and nice quality of life update for that screen. There is a new abilities screen as well, just to keep it all similar with PC. You just tab over to abilities and you can change your casting types here as well, just like before. Just looks better and is all centralized there. Console is keeping that little ability sidecar as well. If you press up on the D-pad, that is still working. Haven't gotten footage of that since I forgot, but just wanted to make that little note that you guys will still have that for quick access to look over your abilities and stuff like that. So very crazy and super cool. I think it's just super exciting to finally show it off, and I'm very grateful I was able to work on it and, you know, give feedback all along the process with it. But that is pretty much going to wrap up this video, guys, and let me know what you think. And of course, when you guys are able to get your hands on this on PTS and when it goes live, feel free to let me know your thoughts and of course any bugs or issues that you run into. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.